All right, here we are, Canada Throws podcast, season 2, episode 8. I believe this is our 15th episode overall, so we are just rolling along. Rammer, how's your week?
It's been good. It's a good week. We got nice weather down here, so just enjoying the sunshine here, buddy.
Yeah, it's beauty. Yeah, no, we got a week off from league this week because we're in the school there, so during March break she gets shut down. I'm telling you, I wasn't disappointed. It was nice having an extra night just to do what I wanted.
No, that's good. Yeah. Sometimes you need a little break here and there.
Yeah, that's right. So last weekend there was a few regionals around. There wasn't too many. I hosted one in Sault Ste. Marie. Matt and the guys from Nomad, they had one in Hamilton on the Sunday.
Right.
And then in Quebec we had one in Drummondville. So mine was pretty uneventful, to be honest. Open doubles was won by a Canadian guy and an American guy teamed up. Open singles, first and second place for both American guys. In the Sioux, I tend to get a few Americans come up, so
Right.
pretty good players.
Yep.
But in Quebec, we had a couple of pretty good showings. So open singles, Will Tattoo took first over France's Mantha,
Right.
and Simon Dallaire was there in third. Pretty strong field with Jocelyn, Alex. Most of the Canadian pros were there. And in doubles, actually, Alex and Geoff Brassard took first over Poudret and Eric Lemaire, with Will and Simon actually teamed up for that one, and they ended up finishing in third place. I not sure what happened there. I definitely would have picked them to win that early.
Yeah, I think that some of the guys you mentioned earlier that finish higher than them in doubles are definitely people we've seen around the Canadian circuit here. So sometimes the bags just don't fall. Maybe it just wasn't their day, and then that's just kind of how it ended up for them. But it seems like those big events and those regionals in Quebec are definitely stacked. There's a lot of good players there. A lot of good players there.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely stacked. Even the guys in the top there are guys that we haven't seen that much. Probably saw them in Drummondville. I know that JF, he's gone to Worlds, I think once or twice with Daniel.
Yeah,
I think he was Daniel's partner.
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that would have been last year.
Yeah, last year, yeah. So there's definitely guys that have been around the ACL scene, but it was I like seeing new players win. I like seeing new players emerge, start seeing players, that you've never heard of, and they start to work their way up the ranks. It's a beauty thing. We also have an open coming up in 2 weeks in Michigan. I'm sure we will have a pretty strong Canadian contingent there. Oh no, I guess it's not 2 weeks, next weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
next weekend. So I'm going to guess there's probably a lot of guys, Southern Ontario probably going. Like we've talked about before, it's a little different this year for the points translation and not carrying over. So we've seen a few less Americans come to ours, but all in all, it's basically in Detroit. So for me, that's like a 2-hour drive. So that
Yeah.
would actually be closer than me going to Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be there next weekend, but I'm sure there will be a lot of people here from Southern Ontario that probably head over and play.
Yeah, we actually have a couple Northern Ontario folks going from Blind River, Ontario. Kelly Barry and Tim Jensen. Tim has a buddy who lives in Brighton, so they decided to take the trip. This is actually kind of cool. I forgot to mention to you before, but the two ladies, Helen and Kelly from Blind River, they signed up for that Michelle Thompson cornhole retreat that started today.
Oh, that's awesome.
With Rosie Streaker and I think Sam Finley. And so it's like I don't know how long it is, but they are in Durham, North Carolina right now. And then so Kelly was like, that's Kelly's first big event. She's never been. She goes to all my regionals, and she goes to a lot of the Sioux, Michigan regionals as well.
Yep.
But she never been to a provincial or a conference or another open. And I said, well, you're going to be in for a treat because it's also an American Open, so it's pretty intense. And
Yeah.
then you have, I mean, I think they capped the amateur teams at 192 plus the pro and elite team. So you're probably looking at 300 teams, I would bet. But she just said, I'm spending that time at that seminar. I want to go use what I learned right away.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. I mean, and from Blind River, we're talking 5.5 hours, so it's not a terrible drive. A lot
5.5
closer than
hours
North
from.
Carolina.
That's what it takes to get to North Carolina from there.
No, to Brighton afterwards.
Oh, I was gonna say, that's pretty quick. I'm gonna go to Charlotte in July.
Are
Almost when
you?
Worlds is going on, but for wrestling related stuff, not cornhole.
Yeah,
And it's like 11 hours for me.
yeah,
So it's still we're driving. It's gonna be a hike.
yeah. You should just stay a little bit longer and then just hop across the
The border there.
North-South Carolina border.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'm there July 30th until like August 3rd, something like that.
That's gonna run right into
I
Worlds.
know. I know. Yeah, I know.
Biggest cornhole event in the world, just a half an hour away.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I have to leave Sunday, but I don't have to be back to work till Tuesday. So I don't know. Maybe we'll. Oh, I'm getting told. Don't get any ideas to venture over to Rock Hill. I think we were planning on staying in Virginia one night in Charleston or something. So
Oh, that's cool.
maybe not Rock Hill. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Rock Hill is pretty cool. When back in my paintball days, we had an event there every season in Rock Hill. I've been there a bunch of times. There was a fireworks shop about half a kilometer from the field with grocery carts. So we'd just go load up and then have a fireworks war in the bush.
Huh.
Stuff you don't do in Canada.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome. Yeah, so we got all those big events. I know a bunch of Dirty Birds, or a few of them anyhow. And Andrew Nelson, he's going. Chris and Vivian are both going.
Yeah.
So I think that
I assume Ty and Daryl, and then I would Jerry McGill, Courtney. I think they're all going to go. I think maybe some of them might be only playing doubles. I think, but I think there's a pretty decent group of going from that area.
Oh, that's super fun. Yeah, so we have that going on, and then we have. Just wanted to mention before we get too much further that. So obviously, with the Canadian Cornhole Federation and Team Canada, we've managed to, as a team, start grabbing up some jersey sponsors and getting some prizes and stuff for, a big raffle we're gonna have. That we're gonna have an event at Nationals, like a crew cup type thing.
That's official. Are you officially announcing this, or what do we got going on here?
Oh, I don't know. Have I never said it before?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we talked about it, but I don't know if you've said it.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. So out on the Friday night, 8:30, we're gonna have a crew cup fundraiser for Team Canada. Be $100 a team. No cash prizes. There'll be plaques, first through third, both tiers. Turn the music up, turn the cameras off, and we're just gonna have a good time and raise some money for Team Canada. But at the same time, we'll be doing our probably the next day do our draw for all the raffle prizes that they're getting. We're gonna have cornhole prizes plus non-cornhole prize. I think Daniel did a pretty good job last year. There was like a 4-pack for golf at Glen Abbey, stuff like that. Like
Nice,
pretty cool non-cornhole prizes, get everyone involved. But we only had our first team meeting about 3 weeks ago, and we've already gotten a whole bunch of companies on board. We'll just run through them real quick. We got Duplicators, which are from Sudbury.
That's the keychain, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they've always been a great supporter of me, and now they're going to be supporting Team Canada. Corn Dudes as well.
Nice.
Corn Dudes also was supporting me, sent me that pair of shoes, and now they're going to be the official footwear of Team Canada in Croatia. We also got this one was from Craig. It's one of his pro sponsors, but Con Steel out of Calgary. They're coming on as a jersey sponsor. Warren Schmidt, who is he runs some leagues in southeastern Ontario. He's a sponsor of Paul Vandendam's Straight Arrow Cornhole.
Yep.
They make boards. He's come on as a jersey sponsor. And we also have Glenn and Kim over at Wingin' It, who are probably some of the biggest supporters of cornhole that we can find in Canada.
I think they are for Canada.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah, they definitely are. Yeah,
it's okay to say it. They deserve it. They are.
Yeah. So and then so Glenn and Kim are actually both going to be going to Croatia, so they'll be able to cheer the team on and have their logo on the jersey, which is for them a second year in a row. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we do have another one. It is confirmed, but we're just waiting for one more thing. But Demi did confirm one more jersey sponsor today.
Oh, nice.
Which is fantastic news. Yeah, we are well on our way to getting this team to Croatia, which is beauty. They can just worry about playing, and they won't have to worry about any money. But you know what Demi was saying, and I had never looked before because I never went, but the events are a fair bit cheaper in Europe.
Oh, really?
Like we're talking 10 to 20 euros per event.
I don't know what the translation is.
It's like almost like the American dollar, say $1.40.
Yeah.
1.4 euros is $1 Canadian. So, $14 to $28 per event. Nice. I'm not sure if the venues must be cheaper, or maybe your European sponsors are more
prevalent.
Yeah, maybe.
I got a little bag here.
Yeah, what is it?
Get this one out.
Oh shit! They came in today.
I got hit with a prank. I don't know if it's because of the prank discussion last week, but I got hit with a prank by Sean Steppen and Scott Kenny. But I got my bags. They got me good, but I got my bags. It was a good one.
What happened?
Scott picked my bags up on Tuesday from Sean in Delhi at the Delhi League.
Yeah.
And so he brought him in. He's just a box. I was like, did you look at my bags? He said, no, I never looked at them. So in the box, they had stored 4 sets of used bags. And they're like, oh, here's your bags. I open up. I'm like, these aren't mine. I got 4 brand new sets. Like, this isn't my stuff. And they're like, there's a little note in there from Sean. Oh, enjoy your bags. And, glad, I don't know, nice doing business with you. I don't know what it says. Something like this. And then
some sort of bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Scotty waited for probably 2 hours. He's like, oh, here's your bags, Rammer. I'm like, oh.
For 2 hours.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He gave them to me around 9 o'clock, I think. So, yeah.
So you just thought you had 4 used sets. Did you get the 4 used sets as well, or what?
No, they were Scotty's bags. He just put them in the box and taped it up. I didn't know.
Oh shit!
It was a good one.
I think those are the best ones you probably got in the box.
These Team Canada, yeah.
Yeah.
They look good. I got to bust them in. I'll probably be throwing these bad boys soon, I think. I like the eye.
Oh, yeah. Those are guaranteed to go in the hole. It's no problem.
Yeah.
Just ask Nyan. Picked up an octane, boom. All of a sudden, find the hole, no problem.
Yeah, a lot of people throw them at my league, so I'm pretty comfortable with them. I just got to get them broken. They'll be ready to go for me.
Yeah, well, throw them in the dryer for 10 hours, no heat. That's all I did.
I just don't like it when they get floppy. I don't like. I need to stay good here.
Oh, you need them a little bit crisp too.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Sean's the same way, eh?
Yeah.
Once his bags get a little bit too floppy, he sells them to Norrington or Havy. He said.
Yeah, I don't like them getting too floppy. A little, it's okay, but there's a line there for sure.
Yeah, my hyperdrives right now are past that line.
Yeah,
they droop over like this. So I got another set I'm breaking in. I lent them to one of Alicia's friends on Saturday at the tournament.
Nice.
And so she broke him in pretty good for me.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean the Team Canada's well on their way. We're always looking for more sponsors. If anyone's interested, send me a message. I can let you know the ins and outs. But it's nice to see the support. It's nice to see some new companies getting on board, some companies in the industry and some out. But yeah, it's fantastic. So
I think one thing we should say on that is just, if you have opportunity to go out and support these businesses that are supporting our game,
100%.
whether that's just, if you can directly support them, sure. Sometimes that's not the case. Even just a share here and there on social media, that kind of stuff can go a long way. So
Yeah, buddy.
you see the sponsors popping up through the Team Canada, avenues on social media. Don't be afraid to give it a share.
Yeah, no, you got 100%. These companies deserve our recognition and gratitude because it's only making this thing get better across the board.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's dive in. So our season in Canada, right? I mean, we go from October to July.
Mid-July, yeah.
Yeah, and really the first 4.5 months of our season were super big event heavy, especially I mean in Ontario we had an open and our first provincial. I mean all three provinces that had provincials so far.
Yep.
Same thing. So 3 opens and a provincial to start the first 4.5 months of the season. And then I think now kind of from mid-February kind of the rest of the way, there's a bit of a lull. We have, I mean, for us Ontario players that travel, we have Newfoundland and then our last provincial, which is mid-June. But Quebec has their provincial coming up middle of April. Their ACL Provincial middle of April. Newfoundland has their ACL Provincial coming up in 2 weeks on the 29th, that weekend. And so those are really the next big events, and then we're going to dive into the ACQ. So I mean, the ACQ is a provincial league in Quebec, obviously, and they boast huge numbers, 26 leagues across the province. They have 2,400 players or so, kind of similar numbers that we have playing ACL here in Ontario, and their focus is more on the league nights, that local level play. They have 6 regional tournaments throughout the year, and then this giant provincial event, which is on the 25th and 26th of April. 25th, 26th? Yeah, sorry, 26th, 27th. And it kind of culminates there. I mean, their regionals also are
Very
huge
large
events, right?
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of tournaments, so when they do, all the serious players, come out to play.
They're basically almost at what you would call a conference and provincial level for their regionals. They're gigantic.
Yes. Yeah. So and this provincial event is huge. So right now they're at like about 210 teams, something like that, 205 teams, and 230 for singles, somewhere around there. Their capacity is 250 and 300. They're going to be running 50 to 60 sets of boards. They also have blind draw. They have a top 100 blind draw, women's, juniors.
All the programs.
All the events, man. And I mean, we're talking, I mean, honestly, that event will be the biggest event in Canada this season. It is definitely something that I would like to check out one day. I know that I believe Connor and Alin and Steve have been to the ACQ provincials before, but it just must be. I mean, that it seems absolutely fantastic. That is a lot. I mean, I'm sure all of our ACL Canada pros will definitely be there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see it for sure.
But as that gets closer to, we'll promote that a little bit more on the show and then on the page as well, because I think they divide into. I mean, most of their regionals. So I mean, we're talking. They sell out at 144 teams with another 20 teams on waiting lists.
Right.
And then kind of the way that they do it, they go through the rounders and then they have like their 1, 2, and 3, and then they divide each of those into A, B, and C. So you're kind of competing with 16 other teams, like in the end,
Right.
for that thing. I'm not sure if they do the same thing at their provincial event, but it's definitely that model I find really interesting. Like the model of really focusing locally, and then when you have a tournament, it's big, everyone goes.
Yeah, I think we've kind of touched on this a little bit before. I think one of the best things that we can do in cornhole right now is try to create the most competitive games that we can. I think that's what keeps people interested. You don't always have to be out there to try to compete and be the most competitive person, but I think the games are in general are just more enjoyable in tighter matched games. You're never
Yeah,
walking up to the board thinking, "Oh, this is already over," or vice versa. Like, so I think spreading it out how you just explained it would really make for some really competitive games. It would kind of slot those teams, say that whatever it is, let's just use 200, slot those 200 teams in sections of 16, make a nice,
yeah,
perfect, neat bracket, and
yeah,
dividing that out, I mean, would really create. You should be pretty on par with the other teams that you're playing with in that division. I think it's definitely an interesting way of doing it. I personally, I like the idea. I think that, like I said before, I think that the best thing that we can do is always constantly create creative, competitive games,
yeah,
um, for everybody, all skill levels. I think
yes,
that's
yes,
that's
yes.
the best way to enjoy the game when you're playing.
Yeah, for sure. It keeps everyone where they're supposed to be. And uh, like you said, keeps everything really competitive in that bubble.
Yeah.
It definitely makes people enjoy their experience more.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter how competitive you are. I don't think you want to show up, go 0 and 4 in rounders, and then
No.
or whatever you do, and then go 0-2 in the bracket. Like, I mean, someone may do that no matter what happens, but you don't want to be blown out of the water 23-3, 25-2. Like, if you're playing competitive games, then you always have a chance. I also think that you learn more in competitive games.
Yeah.
So I think competitive games make better players. I don't think there's much to learn on a lopsided win on either side.
Yeah, and I think that's one way we have to utilize our 5 divisions in the ACL a little bit better, right? Even if we have, I mean, it's tough in our regionals. It's tough because we have, say 20 to 40 doubles teams in our, we have the ACQ runs 6 regionals a year. ACL Ontario has 10 regionals a month,
Yeah,
or eight regionals a month.
it's
So
completely different. It's not apples to apples here.
no, so it's the last big regional I was at was probably your guys' start of the year regional
Yeah,
last season.
yeah, that was a big one. That might be the
And
biggest
then
regional that's ran in Ontario.
how many? And then the year before, Moondog had that huge one open the
Oh
season too,
yeah,
where he
yeah,
had
yeah. Those,
50 and 100.
yeah, those would be the two biggest probably.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I think, I mean, really, because we have so many, you don't have to travel far to go to a regional, right? You
Yeah,
pretty much have one in your backyard unless you're from Northern Ontario. So
yeah,
it makes it a bit trickier, and our model is a little bit different. I would love to have more focus on the local stuff, but I do really enjoy our regional model. I don't think regionals have to be giant to be good either. It can be like, I mean, it's called a regional, right? It is a tournament for one region. And if it's a couple of leagues, that's a region, right? Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I enjoy them. I've my experience in cornhole is all the way from open nationals, whatever we play, and I think that sometimes the big tournaments are fun, and it's kind of when you first start playing, it may be an eye opener. Like, I can't believe this is what really happens. Or when someone's explaining to you, yeah, there's 200 teams and we're running 40 boards and it's in a big hall. until you really see it, you might not understand it. But at the same time, like
Yeah.
I've gone to, smaller regionals, like even a weekday regional in some
Hmm.
places, where there's like 30 shooters and it's been just as enjoyable. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just kind of think it's time and place for some things, but I think the game can be enjoyed at any size, whether it be an open, a conference, provincial, whatever you want to call it, regional, local night. It doesn't matter.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think some of these regionals just being slightly bigger do create the opportunity to have more and more divisions and keep those games competitive within them, right? I know John and Daryl both run their regionals with all 5 singles divisions, and I think that's fantastic. It gives more players a chance at getting those wins, and it also gives players. I run the novice division in my Sudbury regionals because it gives my league players a good foot in the door of
Mhm.
what a tournament is like. And as they move up the ranks, I think it's really, really important that we have that stepping stone between competitive and open, because I feel like sometimes when players are skilling out of competitive and they're just far too good to be in competitive anymore, but they're still not super ready for open, it's good to have that division
Yeah.
as a stepping stone, somewhere for them to play while they continue to grow their game.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I think if we had to break it down, I think one of the largest gaps we would see in skill level would be the top of comp in comparison to the top of open,
Yeah, sure.
right? Whereas you see the top of novice is probably going to get you middle of the pack, intermediate. If you have a good day,
Yeah,
I mean, you could probably still compete in intermediate. Like one of my last regionals there, we had a novice player that ended up getting third place in
sure.
intermediate. Like it can
Yeah,
happen.
yeah,
We've
yeah.
had Ben, one of our guys out of our league, had been primarily playing intermediate, moved up to comp, and he had a second place finish in comp. So, like, it's possible. I just think I do agree. That number to get out of comp could be just touching a 7, but that number to win most open regionals here in Ontario is 9 plus,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
that's 2 points
Well,
a round. That's a giant gap.
at least 8.5, eight and a half, right? I
Like
mean,
a
at least
really good,
eight and a half for the day.
yeah, like there's a difference between open board 8.5 and I'm gonna make you work hard 8.5 by hitting rolls and air mills.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's a
Oh, for
different
sure.
8.5, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, it could be like you said, it could be 8.5, but it could be a very good 8.5 with block, push, roll, airmail, that style of game instead of just the traditional slide game. So
yeah,
yeah, I agree. I do think that probably if we had to look at that way, the biggest gap would be from, the higher players of comp trying to compete with no advanced division running, trying to compete with the high players in open singles.
yeah. So my goal for next season for my Sudbury regionals, because I play in a huge school gym, I'm definitely going to go with all 5 divisions, and I'm going to try to get, some of my lower level open players, or players that travel from the Sioux or from wherever to play that division. I'll get some of my higher level comp players and really try to establish that advanced division as well. Where I am, novice and intermediate is no problem. That's where I get most of my
Yeah.
registrations. I have a lot of new players, so I get 2/3 of my registrations are in those 2 divisions, and then my 1/3 is in comp and open combined. But I definitely, it's important, and I think that's one of the reasons that Matt and I decided at the next, like at our provincial championship, we're going to let the players play up one level from their uh, skill level on their profile. And the hope is that perhaps some competitive players will try the advanced division. And I mean, I think a lot of them will surprise themselves. They'll have some success there. The high level, the payout is more, and the registration price is the same as comp. So it's worth giving it a shot and seeing how you do, that one step up.
Yeah, for us around here, like with Dirty Birds and John and Delhi being the closest to us, it's definitely easy to see that the bottom divisions, just like you're saying for your stuff, the bottom divisions of novice and intermediate fill pretty quickly. Definitely been a little tougher with advanced. Sometimes it gets blended with open. But
Yes.
I think at any of the major events, when you start getting into provincials and opens, I would hope that no matter what we do, we can get all 5 divisions going. I think that's really important.
Yeah, and I mean we have had all five. It's just getting
Yeah.
that advanced division to be a bit healthier, right? Sometimes we end up with 8 or 9 players where there's no reason why it can't be, 16 to 20 players deep.
Yeah,
And
and
as it gets healthier as well, it just makes the other divisions healthier too, right? So now some really good comp players have decided to play advanced. Okay, now some intermediate players are going to try to play comp. They think they got a bit of a better chance. Helps
yeah,
everywhere.
it definitely trickles down the line when you
Yeah.
start adjusting. I also think that like with the new point structure this year,
Mm-hmm.
and not I would say not so much of a focus on like that top 100, which has been pretty heavily focused on since I've started playing. You
Yeah.
know, and I think there's a lot of things where we could grow that advanced division. Advanced always hasn't been offered, so a lot of players that would be in that division just have been playing open because that's what they're accustomed to. Not having that chase for the top 100 kind of, some people may not be wanting to constantly play open to get those points, maybe play at a more competitive level in advance. So I think
Yeah.
as we go here, I think we'll start to see, those 5 divisions spread out. I know even for ourselves, we typically have just ran intermediate comp and open, and we're
Yeah.
going to
You have
take
you
a
have
crack
5
at
boards. Yeah.
we're going to take a crack at running novice.
Oh, awesome. Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So whether that just means a little bit of a smaller division, that's fine. We'll
Yeah.
just get it going,
That's
get it
fine.
out there,
Yeah.
and get some players that haven't played tournaments before a chance to come play at our facility and give them another opportunity to be able to play at their skill level in a regional tournament.
Yeah. That's awesome, Rammer. I think that's yeah. I really feel like that's one of the most important divisions to pump into regionals, and then right after that is getting that gap narrowed in between the comp and the open. And I mean we have that because we have that other division there too. There's lots of ways we can keep players coming back. We don't need players to think that they've become too good for one division but don't fit into another. And I mean I'm getting that even in my own with some of my own league members. So this is definitely something I want to try to find a solution so these guys can keep having fun.
Yeah, I think on the flip side too, like I think players have to also realize like, if you're ever being asked, when we did a whole podcast on this, but if you're ever asked to be playing up or to try going up, I mean, there's a reason for it. It's not, no one's picking on you, no one's trying to single you out. I mean, there's a reason for trying to go up. So, if you have opportunity to go up, give it a go, and then you be flexible on it. And I think for the most part, a lot of the directors are. So, I mean, that's just discussions that need to happen between players and our directors. Keep that keep that fluent communication and be able to move the players that into divisions that best suit them all across the board.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, being open and always being approachable, and I think those are two of the most important things as directors. Being honest all the time with your players. I mean, I have very open lines of communication with them, and I also put my PPR ranges right into my event when I make my regionals. But at the same time, if I know all the players in this area, if I feel like some guy's PPR is a little bit higher than what I put, I'll still let them play in that division. I know where they can compete as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're the exact same in your area, right?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, just keeping that open line of communication, and I don't think that there's there's a reason why you'd be asked to play up or play down or whatever the case may be. So I don't think a director is going to go out of his way to just move you up just to move you up. So there's a reason why
Yeah, no.
those things happen and those conversations happen as well.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You got her. All right, so I think that's going to be a fantastic event coming up in a month in Quebec. So I'll definitely do some more. I'll give a bit of a players list for that too. We can go over some of the top players as we get closer. But we definitely have some out of province events that we can start previewing over the next few weeks, and there's going to be some pretty good battles across the board. If you guys, if anyone listening is looking for some events later in the spring, early summer, the Saskatchewan Cornhole Association is hosting 2 fantastic events. Their first one is the Lady Boss of the Toss. This is an all-women's event, May 2nd to 4th, Regina, Saskatchewan, backyard. You know those guys at SCA, they have that full-time facility, right? The backyard. Canada's first and still only cornhole facility.
Right.
They've got events 7 days a week. So they've added $5,000 to the pot there. First place in women's singles will take home $2,000. Pretty good prize.
Not bad.
First, as long as they sell out, first place in doubles will take home $2,600. So that's $1,300 a piece. You come in there, have a pretty good weekend. I think they have a blind draw too with a few $100. So I mean, might be able to come home with $3,500 and a weekend in Regina.
Yeah, it's definitely good for them. Like you said, they've been the first facility that's full on running cornhole events. Good to see. I'm expecting that those tournaments run nice and smooth, and they have a good showing out there. The game in Saskatchewan is definitely growing, and it's pretty solid already to start. So it's good on them, and it's great to see a large event like that happening, across our country.
Yeah, and I mean, there's still they still have spots to sign up. So they got 12 more spots in singles, 16 more spots in doubles. They're gonna have a blind draw on the Friday night, the Friday night's a switch, I think. But they'll have bands and music and beers. I mean, it's definitely going to be a good time. A bit of a party atmosphere, I think, on the Friday, and then get down to business on the Saturday and try to make some cash. I know we got Lynn and Simone are going. I saw they've kind of posted up when different players sign up. Your partner from Calgary, Kathy, all signed up.
I'll be rooting for her for sure.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably a good horse to take. I mean, she could definitely take that down.
Yeah.
Damn good player. All right, and then about 6 weeks later, they are hosting the Prairie Throwdown, which is, the Prairie's version of Spencer McKenzie's. They're going to pray for no rain because Regina is not Southern California. So, but they got 42.
Maybe they need to pray for no snow.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, so they have 48 teams max for that one, and they run it the same as Spencer's does. You get put into a pool of 8 teams, play every team once, top 3 tier 1, next 3 tier 2, bottom 2 tier 3. They have decent prize money throughout, but they've added $10,000 to the pot of that overall event for the Saturday, but they have both singles and doubles on the Saturday. Or sorry, not singles and doubles. It's just a doubles event, just like Spencer's.
Okay.
But then they have a blind draw on the Saturday night where they've added $1,500.
Nice.
To the blind draw as well. Yeah, no, it's some big money that they are giving away there. And if my June wasn't so busy with construction and then our provincials and Newfoundland right at the start, 100% I'd be heading out that way. I think it'd be super fun. They're going to play outside cornhole in the parking lot, but they want to keep the teams low enough that just in case the bad weather comes, they can move it inside in the facility. Yeah. Bands on the Friday night, bands on the Saturday night. It's going to be an absolute blast, and still lots of room to sign up for that one too.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It sounds like they got 2 really good events about to happen out there in the prairies. So I'll have to definitely keep tabs on that. I'm sure there'll be a lot of great games there.
Yeah, and I think, we could definitely see a lot of great players head out that way. I think anytime that you add thousands of dollars to any prize pool, it definitely makes going there more worth it for certain players, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little initiative, a little bonus for going out there and playing. If you can take it down, it's always a little extra cash in your pocket never hurts. So no, it's cool. Sounds like it's going to be two great events, and like I said, I'll definitely be trying to follow along and check those ones out.
Yeah, and the backyard is just killing it so far this year. So Kevin told me that last year they had 12,000 people through the door, and right now they're on pace for 18,000 for 2025. I mean, we're still just 3 months into the year,
Yep.
but they've seen a huge bump from those numbers that they had last year, and that's exactly what we want to see. And it's new players coming in the door. They have a social switch on Friday nights. They have live music. Some nights they have DJs, and it's just like you're sitting in your backyard, but you're inside. You can have some beers, throw some bags, and I think people, they're looking for something to do, and that's obviously a great introduction to the sport as well.
Yeah, like we've talked about before plenty of times. It's such a good community, and it's a very social game. You can play at all ages, all skill levels. Always have a crack to play it, and you can enjoy it. So no, it's a really cool venue, and hopefully at some point in time I'll be able to get out there and check it out.
Yeah, no, same. I'm definitely gonna put it on my list. I would rather go to Regina in the summer, but that probably is not possible. Right, I work construction. The summer is busy. It's hard to get time off, so most of my fun is left for the winter.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, no, yeah.
When it
Same for my work. I get a little busier in the summer, so moving around days there's a little not as easy if it is in the wintertime. So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a lot easier to get to get an extra day off or two in the wintertime.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that ACQ provincials, and then we'll keep tabs on all those events. We got a lot of new players, a lot of good players emerging in both those areas, so we want to make sure we keep our tabs. I haven't heard anything about any more Alberta regionals. I think last time I spoke, they had one coming up in April, and then also Aaron was planning a provincials for Alberta sometime, probably later in the spring. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on that one. Um, Geoff Colbert Jr. I really find like he is on a bit of a tear lately. He won singles and doubles last weekend in Hamilton. He had a pretty good provincials in June. I just find him to be a completely different player this season than last.
Yeah, I've got to play Geoff quite a bit over the course of the last few seasons. He was kind of a frequent of player of our regionals, and just other places. Like he's kind of a guy that's been at all the events. Starting from the opens when we first started getting really going here in Canada, and us having 2 to 3 provincial events every year. He's been a guy that's been pretty steady at attending all those.
Yeah.
Definitely always been a good player. There's no doubt about that. He's always
Oh yeah, no doubt about that.
been that, but maybe it's a season where you just get that extra gear, right? You find that magical bag that works, or there's plenty of things that can kind of make a player turn the corner, and I think it's obvious at this point that Geoff's found something that's working because he's just racking up W's, right? So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm really like 100% surprised about it because Geoff's always been very steady, but I definitely do agree that definitely been a little bit of a turning of the corner here lately for him. He's been playing really well.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that we have, good players where we're not surprised if they do well. And I mean, it's never a surprise, but it's just when you start getting on that heater where you're winning or you're finishing second in most of the regionals that you're entering in a certain period of time. it's definitely something to have a look at and keep track of and see how long he can keep this heater going for. He has his regional on Saturday, so we'll see if he has another pretty stacked field coming in there. You know, Brandon will be down, Bobby, Jay Perry.
Yep.
I'm not sure if Steve will be there, but I mean, some pretty good players there. See what Geoff does. But yeah, no, I definitely think that's one guy not to watch, but just to watch how long he can stay on this heater for.
Yeah, Geoff might be kind of thinking right now. He wish it was a little tighter schedule here instead of kind of this break, right? Like he's been playing, like you said, he's been playing really well. Yeah, I hope he keeps on that heater and gets a little bit, gets a few more podiums and a few more wins. It's good to see. Geoff's a good guy and runs out of Garden City there, so yeah, definitely been playing well. He works too. I know it. I've talked to him a few times. He definitely puts in the work to be a better player, so he deserves it.
Oh yeah, practices a lot for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we talked about Simon Delaire's heater early on in the season, and he was on a 2.5 month run where he didn't lose a thing. Right now, not that he's finishing poorly, but the winning has stopped for the time being, and he's getting those second and thirds. So it definitely, when good players start to find that next gear and start to win events, it definitely seems to come in areas, right? Next thing you know, they've gotten 3 or 4 wins within a month and a half.
Yeah, there's a lot of confidence that goes with winning, right? So
Yes.
as soon as you win one, then you can win every one. So
yeah.
That's kind of what happened with me last year at the start of the year too. It just came out and I was just like win after win after win, and then sometimes it goes ice cold. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I hope that doesn't happen for him, but it's certainly happened to me. So
no.
It's sometimes it can be anything that switches it. It could be a bad loss or just lose a whole little bit, and you start second guessing. But yeah, when you're on that heater, you just want to ride that thing all the way to the end. So hopefully Geoff can stay hot, and hopefully he plays well this weekend in his regional.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he will. And I think he'll stay hot at least for a little bit longer now. Okay, so after last week, we spent the hour talking about bigs, and we got off air, and you had forgotten to tell one story that you'd even written down because it was one of the most.
It's the only one I wrote down. It's the only one.
So we're gonna end tonight's show with one more great big story.
All right. First, I just want to say thanks to everybody that reached out over the course of the last week and a half, 2 weeks, and to all the leagues that ran their 50-50s and their nights to help donate the money to the Cassidy family. It's been pretty crazy to see, and as his friend, I'm definitely appreciative of it, but I know the family definitely appreciates it, and it's it's something really cool to see when you're in a tough time, and so many different people from all over step up and do it. But this is a good one, and it's kind of one of the last ones that he had, so it makes it a little bit better.
Yeah.
So going into league nights, we play on Wednesdays, and I would always pick bigs up, and then we would roll over to the building to help start setting up, right? So when you pick up Biggie, I would always park at the end of his laneway, and he's got a really, really long laneway, probably, I don't know, 120 feet. It's long.
Yeah.
It's real long.
Yeah.
So I go to pick him up. He's walking down the laneway, and all of a sudden he just starts just hysterically laughing. I'm like, what is going on? I'm kind of looking around in the car. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. So gets in the car and he's like, hey, I gotta tell you this. I'm like, okay. He's like, I got Jerry McGill real good. I'm like, why? What's up? He's like, that fundraising event that he's running? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I've been texting him, except for he doesn't have my phone number. I'm like, what do you mean? What are you saying? He's like, oh, anything you can think of, I said. So Jerry and Biggs talk all the time, but they talk through the messenger, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't have no idea that Biggie knew his number. So Biggie's got the Jerry going all day. He's sending them. I play with my friend at the trailer, and if you throw all 4 bags in the hole, we play that you get all 4 bags back, and you get to throw again. He's got corn. He's got real corn bags, but one's got a hole in it. Can he still throw them? He's telling Jerry like they play if you throw the bag and it doesn't touch the board and goes right in the hole, it's an automatic win. Like all these sorts of things. I know that the pros play with tablets. Do I have to bring my own tablet to play? Like, all these sort of things, right? So he's like, you just wait till Jerry gets the league tonight because I got him good. So anyway, Jerry shows up. We're getting along with the night there, and Biggs goes, "Hey Jerry, how's your fundraiser looking?" Jerry's like, "Oh, you'd never guess this guy that messaged me today. He's saying if you throw 4 bags in and da 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 da, it's you get 4 bags back, and if you throw an airmail and it goes right in the hole, it's an automatic win, and all this stuff." And I think Biggie said something like, "Oh, is his name Donnie Bryan?" And Jerry's like, "Yeah, why do you know him?" He's like, "Oh, it's just me, Jerry." Jerry's like, "You son of a bitch. I knew it was you. I thought it was you all day long." So, yeah, that was a good one. That was it's really funny. So, that's a running joke now with everybody at our league and with Jerry. So, that was a good one. That's a pretty funny story.
Oh man, Biggie had him pretty good, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, he got Jerry good.
Oh my God. He just didn't mind running a joke for as long as it took
No,
either. Hey, this
literally. Yeah.
slow burn, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She was going after him all day, back and forth text. And Jerry had no clue. Then when he finally tells him, "I thought it was you. I had a feeling all day it was you." So it's pretty good.
Just something festering in the back of his head. Eh?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's this big, so it might be Biggs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to take off. We will be back next Thursday with a bit of a Newfoundland Provincial Championship preview show. Everyone have a good week. Hopefully the bags stay straight this weekend if you're playing. All right, later.
All right. See you guys.